and welcome to my TED Talk. Today, I would like to share 3 stories with you on where and how I embraced change in my startup, but also the change leading me into a potential career in politics. So the first story I would like to tell you is about starting Kitchen Stories a little bit more than 7 or 8 years ago now. Coming right out of university, WHU, Mengting and I, my co-founder, we wanted to do the best cooking app out there, and we moved to Berlin. And the first thing you do as a founder is trying to find investment. However, nobody really saw the need in yet another cooking app. Being 24, 25 years old, pitching your idea to potential investors was really, really frustrating because nobody believed in it. So what did we do? We took the opportunity and said, well, we really see that there is the need for a better product. 100% of people eat, and there's tons of recipes all over, but they just are not any good, all those websites out there. So we did the Friends, Family, Foods round. So we convinced everybody who needed to believe in us and not the idea to invest in us. And we bootstrapped. We went to a Airbnb place in Brandenburg, and we were doing our first 100 recipes there. So we did all the videos, and I was cleaning. And we also needed to make money pre-launch because we only had 25K, which is what you need in Germany to start your own company. So it was my job to do sales. So I just called up all of my favorite brands, all of our favorite brands, and I was trying to win them to be part of our first production. And they said, so how many users and what does a video look like? And we didn't really have any. And they said no. They said no again when I called up the second time. And after the third time, they eventually trusted us and were on board. So we made 20K in revenue from brands like KitchenAid, Le Creuset, Landliebe, milk company here in Germany, by being persistent, not giving up, taking and embracing the moment of, okay, now we don't really have any funding, so we need to somehow make it happen, because we believe that our very, very first product, our MVP, so our launch, which we launched on the iPad as a minimum viable product, it needed to be perfect, and you needed to hold it in your hand and feel that there is the need for yet another cooking app. And I'm very happy looking backwards that Apple discovered us. We launched the app early 2014. It took us 5 months to really bootstrap the first Kitchen Stories version. And Apple discovered us in the App Store. And we were featured as one of the best apps in that week. And we suddenly had 100,000 downloads from all around the world. And then everybody who initially said no, all the investors back then, they suddenly came back. So my first learning is nothing really goes as you have planned it initially. But if you really, really, really believe in something, you will find a way and you will make it happen. And we made a cooking app happen. So this is my first story around changing environments, and also changing roles from being a young student to a founder. The second story I want to tell you is more about long-term change. So when we had the idea of Kitchen Stories, we were thinking of employing a company with a couple of people and having recipes that people could use. So what Kitchen Stories, the unique thing about Kitchen Stories is that we have 3 USPs. So that's design, it's beautiful, it's usability. So it's really, really easy to use. Even grandparents can get along. And then also content. And the content for us means we have video recipes, but you don't really want to cook while somebody is doing something in a video. So we are combining videos with step-by-step photos. And then you also have like a shopping list, a timer. You can use it on your Apple Watch in the supermarket. So basically everything you need to do or you need to get done in order to be cooking. So when we launched Kitchen Stories, we were thinking about, well, it's going to be a good and nice cooking application. But as we grow and learned about the market and the changing environment, we suddenly saw so much power and potential in what we've built that we didn't really anticipate in the very beginning, such as the power of data. So in a normal world or the media landscape, there are a couple of KPIs that everybody looks into. For example, page impressions, video views. But we really fastly learned that we have a lot of behavioral cooking data. So what we did is we created an index that said, it's a cooking index. So we really measure when a user is cooking a recipe, but then also analyze the cohorts from I have discovered the recipe to I go shopping to I am cooking now, what else am I consuming, what else am I cooking? So really analyzing user behavior along the cooking journey. So what do we do with the data? Ultimately, it's really powerful because we want to show you and tell you what you can cook before you actually know what you are wanting to cook that night. And that is our vision that we're working on. And the market developed so quickly, everything around food, around online supermarkets, around the connected kitchen. So for example, you can now connect your oven or your fridge with any kind of app. But we believe it only makes sense, thinking again out of the user perspective, not to look into your fridge and buy fridge cam that you can access on your mobile phone, but really you want to know what shall I cook tonight if I have, an avocado and a yogurt and something else left in my fridge. And that's really what we want to build, a bridge from content to technology, leveraging the behavioral user data and really building the next level of cooking. Back then, in our, what we call it here in Germany, Gründer-WG, so our student apartment where we were sitting in Berlin, we thought, well, it's a cookbook and we can do nice things with it. We can build more recipes, but we never anticipated everything that was yet to come in that whole cooking space back then. So that's also why some investors say they are not really investing in ideas, but they are investing in people. Because market environments change. There's new competition, there's new development, fortunately, and there's new innovation happening every day, all day, everywhere. So it's really crucial as a founder to do two things. To be true to yourself and keep following your vision, no matter what is happening, which can also be tricky. But then on the other hand, to also embrace change and new things coming up as technologies. And it also means taking uncomfortable decisions every now and then, or every now and then also sounds a little bit under-exaggerated because it is a lot of the time about taking tough decisions. And for us, in the very beginning, we wanted to be internationally available from the very first day on. And we started in German and English because our videos typically didn't and don't have voiceover. We were then rolling out into 10 more languages within our first years. We entered the Chinese market, the Russian market. We internationalized everything in Spanish, Italian, French, and so on. But we learned a year later that it's really hard to be tackling the whole world at once. So we decided to focus on the 3 core languages, which for us are German, English, and Chinese, and be there fully. And that also, of course, meant letting parts of the team go that were catering for these international markets. So the entrepreneurial journey is definitely a journey full of changing environments and learnings. But it's the best journey I've ever done in my life because it taught me to not give up when everything is against you. It taught me to win people for your idea and fight for your idea. And it is a constant pitch. It's pitching for investment. It's pitching for clients, it's pitching for the best employees. And coming out of uni and being an employer yourself when you haven't been employed yet in a full-time position is also a really, really interesting journey, because you get to do things, build a culture, build a team, the way you feel it and the way you would be expecting a great workplace. And my last story about change is a story about personal change. So having built Kitchen Stories, having established a team, best team we could have thought of 60 employees, and running such a great company together with our shareholder Bosch Siemens Home Appliances, who actually stepped in 2017 in order to build that connected cooking experience together with us. It was a really challenging time for me to see or to question myself, where and what do I really want to do the next 10, 20, 30 years. And then there are two things in my life that I'm really passionate about. Of course, it's Kitchen Stories and everything that we've achieved and everything that we've built and all the passion that went into it. But on the other hand, I've been active in politics for more than 10 years, and I'm really passionate about it. And I'm passionate and I'm worried. I'm worried about how we are not embracing change in Germany with optimism and a vision of how we want to live and work in 10 years, and how do we want to handle challenges such as the climate crisis, and how do we deal with digitization. So there's actually two hearts beating inside me. So it's the passion for Kitchen Stories, and then it's my passion for politics and for shaping that change, that societal change yet to come. So I, as I said, started being active more than 10 years ago in a classic way. So I joined the Social Democrats here in Germany, SPD, and have been active ever since. So in our, what you call Ortsverein, so the local party unit where you get to meet and decide stuff, but also in the last federal election in 2017, I got involved in, and after the election, it became clear that a lot of things need to change in politics. We also need to offer more opportunities for people to engage in maybe also digital ways next to the local meetings. And we started an initiative, it was called SPD++, to bring people from all over Germany together and really become, as a party, we said we want to turn SPD younger, more digital, and more female. So what did it mean, or what did it do to me? For me, there was a turning point last year. I come from Trier. It's the oldest city of Germany, actually. And the member of the parliament, Katharina Barley, became vice president of the European Parliament. And the SPD in Trier and around Trier was looking for a successor. And when I learned about that, I questioned myself together with Mengting, and I really appreciate her openness in that whole process. We took a coaching and we really went into ourselves, and I went into myself to ask myself, where do I really want to go, and what do I really want to do? Where is the seat for me the next years, and where can I bring my strength into making things happening? And at Kitchen Stories, I started to feel that the managerial role that was now expected of me in building up and scaling up the company and processes was not my strong suit. So I'm rather somebody who tries to push borders and tries to go around the process and not building it. So those two movements taken together made me realize that I want to move into politics, that I want to move back to my hometown Trier and get involved there for the next Bundestagswahl, so the election of the German parliament. And it was the hardest decision I ever took in my whole life. I think leaving something behind that you've built that is now in such a great shape in terms of you're not working until 2 a.m. every morning anymore, like you do in the very early days. And it's such a great team in place. But long story short, decisions that are around change, personal growth, personal change are the hardest to take, especially when they're that emotional. But I believe, and that is my summary, change is everywhere. It's a constant, no matter what you do in personal life, in professional life, in the corporate world, in the startup world. So there's only one way to do it, and it's embrace change, because as we all know, the wind of change, something brings quite awesome stuff. And thank you all for tuning in, listening, and maybe there's another change story that I can tell you in a couple of years.